drones circling like vultures overhead. The mountain echoed with gunfire. Raven dove behind a wrecked vehicle, reloading with trembling hands. Smoke stung her eyes, but she stayed focused. She was outnumbered, but not out of options. She spotted a drone hovering low, scanning for heat signatures. She aimed, fired, and its wreckage fell burning into the snow. The others closed in. She kept moving, slipping through the blizzard like part of it. The radio on one of the fallen soldiers crackled beside her. "Command! She's inside the perimeter! The Raven's in the wind!" She picked up the radio, pressed the button, and whispered, "Not in the wind! Behind you!" Moments later, another explosion lit up the night. She had planted grenades on the fuel depot as she entered. Now the base was collapsing in chaos, soldiers fleeing from the inferno that swallowed everything. Raven moved with mechanical precision, her face lit by the flicker of burning debris. Every step felt heavier, every breath colder. The war was ending for her, one way or another. She reached the extraction point, a cliff overlooking the valley below. The snowstorm howled like the voices of the fallen. Her comm device buzzed. It was command. "Captain Arkova, confirm your position. We're inbound." She looked back at the burning mountain, a graveyard of the generals who had destroyed her squad. For a moment, she felt nothing. No joy, no triumph, just silence. She clicked comm. "Three generals down. Mission complete." The chopper appeared through the storm, spotlight cutting through the dark. As it descended, the camera would pan over the smoldering base below, a testament to vengeance, precision, and sacrifice. But as she climbed aboard, her face told another story. Victory had never felt so heavy. When she returned to base, no one cheered. Soldiers simply stood in silence as she stood off the helicopter, covered in soot and blood. They D heard the stories that she single-handedly dismantled the enemy's command structure. But to them, she looked like a ghost. Command debriefed her for hours, asking for tactical details, map coordinates, kill confirmations. She gave them everything, except emotion. When they congratulated her, she didn't respond. She just stared at the wall, her hands trembling slightly. Later, she sat alone in the barracks, staring at her reflection in the cracked mirror. For the first time in months, she removed the black scarf she always wore. Beneath it was a scar running from her jaw to her collarbone, a mark from the day her unit fell. The voiceover would soften here, slower, more intimate. They thought killing the generals would bring peace, but peace doesn't come from revenge. It comes from remembering why you fought in the first place. She visited the memorial site of her fallen team the next morning. Snow had covered their names on a marble slab, so she brushed it away gently with her gloved hand. One by one, she whispered their names, all 8 of them, before resting her rifle at the base of the stone. "I kept my promise," she murmured. The wind howled through the trees, carrying her words away. As she turned to leave, her commanding officer approached quietly. "You're being offered a transfer," he said. "They want you to train the next generation of snipers, to teach them what you know." She looked at him, her eyes distant. "And what is that, sir?" He hesitated. "How to survive." She shook her head slightly. "No. How to live after." Weeks later, the sound of rifle fire echoed across the new training compound. Cadets lined up on the shooting range, their breath steady, their hearts racing. At the far end of the line stood Raven, now dressed in instructor fatigues, posture straight, eyes sharp. "Snipers don't just shoot," she told them. "We wait, we listen, we decide who lives and who doesn't. And that is the hardest trigger you'll ever pull." The camera would glide across their faces, young, uncertain, hanging on every word. She demonstrated with quiet grace, adjusting a cadet's stance, correcting his aim. "Your rifle is not your weapon," she said softly. "Your mind is." Between sessions, she would retreat to her quarters, where her old rifle hung on the wall, the same weapon that had ended 3 wars and 3 lives. Sometimes she'd just sit there, staring at it, remembering every shot. But at night, she'd walk outside, beneath the open sky, looking at the stars her fallen team once navigated by. The camera would pull back slowly, her silhouette standing against the horizon, wind whispering through the grass. For the first time, she allowed herself to breathe. To be alive, not as a soldier, not as a legend, but as Elena Markova. Yet even then, part of her new peace was temporary, because in every war, ghosts have long memories, and one of those ghosts was coming back. Flames roared behind her as she sprinted through the compound, bullets tearing through the walls, drones circling like vultures overhead. The mountain echoed with gunfire. Raven dove behind a wrecked vehicle, reloading with trembling hands. Smoke stung her eyes, but she stayed focused. She was outnumbered, but not out of options. She spotted a drone hovering low, scanning for heat signatures. She aimed, fired, and its wreckage fell burning into the snow. The others closed in. She kept moving, slipping through the blizzard like part of it. The radio on one of the fallen soldiers crackled beside her. "Command! She's inside the perimeter! The Raven's in the wind!" She picked up the radio, pressed the button, and whispered, "Not in the wind. Behind you." Moments later, another explosion lit up the night. She had planted grenades on the fuel depot as she entered. Now the base was collapsing in chaos. Soldiers fleeing from the inferno that swallowed everything. Raven moved with mechanical precision, her face lit by the flicker of burning debris. Every step felt heavier. Every